It was a tight game most of the way. It was only Houston only had like a 4-point lead with a couple minutes left before pulling away. Obviously, they're really tough on D. What did you kind of see that enabled them to kind of win the game there at the end?
No, you give them a lot of credit. I mean, they made some big plays down the last 2 minutes. Defensively, they were strong all night, but you expect that from a Kelvin Sampson coach team. They just wear you down over time, and you saw some of those, I think, show up at the end. Some of those things showed up down the stretch of the game for us with some decision making. I've turned it over a few too many times, and you get them credit for that. They made a lot of plays and forced us in some tough situations.
Coach, you mentioned it right there, but are those 17 turnovers the thing you point to most for the reason for the result?
I think 17 turnovers is one of the things that I think definitely played a part in it. We got to value the ball, more than we did, but you give them credit. They made a lot of plays, to make that happen, and I didn't think we shot as well from behind the arc as we had been shooting it, going 2 for 13. That really hadn't been our MO in the last several games for us. So those are the things that kind of stand out to me. And I thought we may have defensively given them too many made threes. They had 7 made threes in the game. And I think that's something that, that we'd have to do a better job at.
BD, go ahead. Or Chris, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Chris Hayes, Orlando Sentinel. Do you guys kind of feel like you left something out there today because of not only the turnovers, but the free throws, the field goals, like you mentioned, the 3-pointers, and then that lull in half where take a lot of that away and you're right there in the game, maybe even ahead?
No, I thought it was a great game. I thought it was more of a fist fight type of a game, but that's how it's going to be when you play Houston. I mean, they don't give an inch, and you have to go out there with that same type of mindset. It's going to be an aggressive game. It's going to be a physical game, and you have to embrace that. And I thought our guys did for the most part. I just, like I said, they just had a little more, at the end. It's a 2-possession game down the stretch, and I thought they just finished the game out better than we were able to, and that was the difference in the ball game.
Coach, nearly an 8-minute stretch there without a field goal. Are you concerned about some of the shot selection by your guys in that stretch?
No, definitely. We talked about that after the game, about our shot selection. We got to be better, got to be a little more patient, have a little more poise, and that definitely hurt us. And so there were several sections in the game where I didn't think we executed as well and got the type of looks we wanted to get. And we have to get back to being a little more poised offensively.
Coach, still with 2 minutes to go in this game, it was a 4-point game. How much of, even though it's a loss, can you still take away some positives that you competed this hard against the top 10 team?
No, absolutely. There are definitely some positives that we'll take away from the game. I'm sure when we watch tape, but as you know me, Brian, none right now. It's all about competing, and I don't like to lose. Neither does my players. So we're all hurting right now, but we gotta, we know we got to bounce back. We have another game coming up, and we have to get ready for that. But Houston's, like I said, a very good basketball team. We knew that going in. We have a lot of respect for their program, and we wanted to just, leave everything out on the floor. And I think for the most part, our guys did.
Given how Brandon Mahan had scored the past couple games, a little bit more quiet tonight. What did you see out of his game out there tonight?
Well, they made a concerted effort to try their best to keep the ball out of his hands. They made a effort to try to crowd him as much as they could. And so those are things Brandon's going to have to adjust to facing. I mean, he's never had to face that before in college, where he's a marked man to the level that he is, and now he sees the type of effort that guys are going to give and the type of schemes guys are going to put out there on the floor defensively to try to contain him.
Coach, how much of some of the shot selection do you attribute to these guys still getting to know each other, especially the transition pull-ups and things like that?
Exactly right. I mean, we're in our fifth game and there's still a learning process for our guys. You know, I'm still learning them. Some of the new players, like what their abilities are, you know, seen them on tape, but you know, what are their abilities now? They have had a whole year after they've transferred or either, you know, graduated. So I'm still trying to find out exactly, you know, what their skill sets are and trying to make sure we, you know, marry those with what our players that we've had here, you know, already possess. So that's still going on for sure. Like I said, we've had different starting lineups in 5 games. So it's still been a process of us learning one another.
Coach Isaiah, with some early foul trouble, inconsistency, you're going to find that in a freshman, aren't you?
No, absolutely. I mean, he's going to be terrific. I mean, he's played so well for us thus far. You know, and he didn't play, you know, bad today. You know, and looking at him as a freshman, still made plays. It's just a function of him growing, learning our system, learning to play at this level of competition and on a nightly basis. And he's going to do that because he's such a competitor. He'll get better from a game like this for sure.
Coach, a little bit more about Isaiah. Do you think the early fouls kind of got to him and took him out of his game?
You know, definitely. I thought him picking up the second one probably frustrated him a little bit because he had done the same thing a game or so ago, and I think it was kind of difficult. Here he goes again. He knows he has to sit for some extended minutes. He has to play without fouling if I put him back in. So I'm sure all that's going through his head, and that's tough for any young guy, especially a freshman. So I think it was probably frustrating for him, but he's got to learn and grow from it. I mean, you know, those are good calls. He has to just grow and learn, you know, what he can and can't do, you know, on the floor at this level.
Okay, Coach, thank you. We'll wrap it up there. Thanks, everybody, for being on, and we'll see you at the next one.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Coach.
guys, thank you. Take care.